12 official lead changes, the end of a dominant run, and a race decided on the last gasp run to the flag. This is a short view back to the past to the race of the century.
Gentlemen, a short view back to the past.
When the World Championship pack arrived at Reims for the 1953 French Grand Prix, Alberto Ascari had not lost a World Championship race since the beginning of 1952, nearly 14 months before. If you exclude the Indianapolis 500, which in the 1950s was counted as a World Championship event rather bizarrely because there was almost no crossover whatsoever, he had 9 consecutive wins. That was a record that wasn't matched until Sebastian Vettel did it in 2013. Aside from Ascari's driving brilliance, part of the reason for that domination was the Ferrari 500, which was very much the car to have during the 2-litre unsupercharged Formula 2 era of the World Championship that ran in 1952 and 1953. Maserati was becoming a stronger challenger, however. Ascari qualified on pole for the French Grand Prix, but there were 3 Maseratis in the top 5 and 1.3 seconds covered those cars, which was much closer than most of the races during that period. Maserati driver Jose Froilan Gonzalez decided to start on half tanks, and he swept through into the lead from the start and started to pull away before his own pit stop, leaving the Ferraris of Ascari, Mike Hawthorn and Luigi Villoresi to fight over second place around the high-speed venue, where there was lots of slipstreaming and lots of overtaking. Juan Manuel Fangio ran 6th in the early stages in his Maserati, but started to gain ground and had just taken Ascari for second place when Gonzalez pulled in for his 30-second fuel stop and fell to 6th. Hawthorn also overtook Ascari, who briefly fell back, and they then started a fantastic duel for the lead for the second half of the 60-lap race. They constantly swapped places. The official lap charts show they exchanged the lead 11 times, so it was actually probably many more times than that because they slipstreamed and passed and repassed each other around the circuit. The Maserati had good top-end power and good straight-line speed, but the Ferrari was better under braking and crucially had great traction out of the Thilloir hairpin, which was the last corner before the drag to the finish line. After running side by side for many laps, in fact some accounts suggest that they were overtaking every other corner, which is probably not correct, but it sounds good in the storytelling. Hawthorn led going on to the final lap. Fangio challenged coming down to Thilloir for the final time, but the Ferrari's superior acceleration told and Hawthorn streaked across the line to take a famous victory. Just behind, Gonzalez and Ascari had also been putting on a fine charge back into contention. Gonzalez in particular was rapid and he just fell 0.4 seconds short of catching Fangio on the line. Just 4.6 seconds covered the top 4 cars after 2 hours and 45 minutes or 300 miles of racing, a remarkable stat for the time. It was dubbed the race of the century, though perhaps that now seems a little generous given the fantastic events that were subsequently to take place. Hawthorn's win was the first for a British driver in the World Championship. He would of course go on to become Britain's first world champion as well, driving for Ferrari. And as an aside, his one win of that 1958 title winning campaign came at Reims in the French Grand Prix. In 1953, normal business was resumed just 2 weeks later in the British Grand Prix. Ascari beat Fangio into second place by a minute on his way to a second consecutive world title. But it was that famous victory by his young teammate that remains one of the greatest moments in motorsport history. If you like this video, please remember to click that like button and subscribe, and do let us know if there are any other stories you'd like us to take a look at in a short view back to the past. Also be sure to take a look at Motorsport TV for some other great motorsport videos.